Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome to episode 56, I want to say, of Freshly Grounded. Unfortunately, Abdul Samad cannot make it to today's episode. The Ramadan is very, very close, and he's a very, very busy man. Allahumma barik. And we didn't put out an episode last week, and so I thought I'm definitely still going to put out an episode. So this episode is mainly with myself. I'm talking to Nate, talking to you guys. We've got Nate behind the camera, and we're reflecting on Ramadan. We're looking at pre-Ramadan tips. We were doing a lot of reflection. It's a very slow, intimate, nice episode. Inshallah, you guys will enjoy it on your journey to work or to school, or just generally you're in your house and you got it on in the background. Inshallah, you enjoy it. Thank you guys for always supporting Freshly Grounded. It does mean a lot, and I would love to get you guys feedback on this episode, like I mentioned at the end, because I still want to be able to put out episodes, and like I mentioned in the podcast, there will be times where, for example, let's say Sam is not able to make it, not through any fault of his own, but he's a very busy man, Allahumma barik, and he has to travel far as well to get here and stuff. So we'll get to the episode. Let's talk about sponsors. So this episode is brought to you by, before we go to the sponsors, there's a couple projects I want to talk to you guys about. So first of all, the Spot Project. So as you guys know, we are raising money for the Spot Project to help with the orphanage, a school, and a sleeping area for the children in Gambia. Now, most of it is done. However, we do need to carry on building some more classrooms to make it bigger, and also we need to finish off the play area. The ground is very rocky right now, so we want to put down like fake grass and stuff to make it easy for them so that they can play, etc. So there's still stuff to be done. So this month we're raising money on Freshly Grounded, so go to freshlygrounded.com/spot to donate to that project. Secondly, this episode is brought to you by the Little Hearts campaign by Muntada Aid. So Little Hearts focuses on providing life-saving heart surgery to children all around the world who are born with congenital heart defects. It's an amazing charity. It's an amazing cause. Around 1 million children and babies are born every year with congenital heart defects. Of them, around 100,000 don't even make it to 1 year old because of their conditions. And in the West, this problem is very common, and in the West, a lot of times we have the ability to A, find out what the issue is, and B, get correct surgery and medication to that patient. Unfortunately, in third world countries, they don't always have not even the ability to scan the child, let alone to be able to operate on them. And so Little Hearts goes to these countries, takes like a mobile setup, takes surgeries and performs these. Please do fundraise for Little Hearts. They're doing a 5k challenge this Ramadan, which means that they need people to pledge to raise £5,000 in the month of Ramadan. And inshallah, if you make it, you make it. If you don't get the 5k, any money helps. And to do that, go to supportlittlehearts.com and follow the steps there. You can also watch the video that I made for them on that website. Please do go and support. That's supportlittlehearts.com, supportlittlehearts.com. And now we are also brought to you by 59. That's 50_NINE on Instagram. 59 is a coffee, juice and snack cafe in St Albans, Hertfordshire. It's like, I was there last week, alhamdulillah. It's freshly ground coffee, beautiful healthy food. I had a tuna and sweet corn sandwich in sourdough actually last time I went, and then I had a vanilla energy ball as well. So alhamdulillah, very healthy, good snacks, fresh juices, especially in this hot weather. Go check it out. That's 59 Stanhope Road. If you quote Freshly Grounded, you get £1 off your order. Also brought to you by Izaha, IZAHA, Izaha.com. And we have a new hat in stock, the Midnight Blue Camo Cap, the Midnight Blue Salam Cap. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. Can they see it, Big Nate? There you go. The Midnight Blue Salam Camo Cap is in stock at Izaha.com. That's IZAHA.com. And if you type in the code word Freshly Grounded, you get 20% off. So that's Izaha.com, IZAHA.com. And lastly, brought to you by Feed Source. Feed Source is your one-stop shop for social media content creation. And so the boys at Flavor have been hard at work creating Feed Source, which is the logo that you can see behind me. and it's a service where you as a brand can sign up and you can get your social media content, so your Instagram images, etc., created in our in-house studio or on location if you're a restaurant or a hotel, etc. And if you're product-based business, like for example you have a watch company, you send your products in, we create your products according to how you want them. We create you 30 images or however many images you select on your package per month for your social media content, and then you can have your social media content all done and dusted. So check out feedsauce.com. That's feedsauce.com. And with that being said, guys, this is episode 6. Enjoy.
And welcome to Freshly Grounded, the brand new podcast by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Huh?
I said welcome to Freshly Grounded,
No, after that bit.
the brand new podcast
And after that bit?
by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Really?
Okay, so this is going to be more of a because Sam's not here, but alhamdulillah, I didn't want to go another week without doing an episode, and so we're going to make it happen. I really was like, I didn't enjoy not putting out an episode last week. I really don't enjoy missing episodes because I just like consistency, as you guys know, and stuff. But alhamdulillah, we've got so much to discuss, man, because we haven't been on Freshly Grounded since Gambia, subhanallah. So in Gambia we shot 2 episodes with Abu Bakr Islam and with Muslim Bilal, and then we came back to the UK. So literally as soon as I touched back down in the UK, imagine I must have come back, went to sleep. I can't remember what time I landed, so I must come back, went to sleep for a few hours, and I got up and I had one day to get all my work done. Because to edit the Gambia vlog, which is now up on my channel. I think I released that the next day, so I had to like shoot the narrations of that and edit that vlog in one day, because then the next day I was back to my contracted work, which was not in the office. So I had and then for like the rest of the 3 days that week I was there and stuff. So it was just absolutely ram. Like since I come back from Gambia, I've been non-stop. But alhamdulillah, I love being busy, man. It's mad because I remember reading something once which said it was a kind of a quote from a scholar, I believe, and it said that when you're not busy, that's when like shaitan, especially I feel as well, like when you're not busy, that's when shaitan gets involved in it, because you're just not busy, you got time to waste, and then but when you're busy, you haven't got time for shaitan, like you're just on stuff. So making yourself busy is something that, as much as I probably do complain about it, and my wife probably hears about it the most, I love being busy because of that like sole reason. And it's also productive, man. Being busy is very productive. So alhamdulillah, Freshly Grounded episode 56. Ramadan is probably going to be like the main topic of discussion throughout this episode, because Ramadan is literally coming up. I'm so excited for it. I did also ask you guys to ask me some questions that I can filter through today, because we've got time to do so. So I'm definitely going to be doing that. I think somebody just corrected me. I said Allah. I must have said inshallah on my video, and someone DM me, corrected me and said it's alif, not ayn. I must have said inshallah. Let's check. Yeah, I said inshallah with an ayn. My bad. Nathan Rose.
How's it going, guys?
Alhamdulillah. So Nate, let's go into Ramadan, man. It's gonna be, inshallah, the day is the 10th. Is it Friday today?
It's Thursday today.
Oh, I was scared. I thought we missed it. Right, so it's 10th. So Ramadan it's Thursday. Ramadan could literally be, our first Taraweeh could be Monday night, if I'm not mistaken. How on earth do you feel about that?
I'm actually really excited. I mean, mainly because I think I'm more excited just to be out of my house. And I want to spend as much of it as possible in the masjid and with the brothers. So
yeah,
that's my goal.
You fasted last year, didn't you? You did one fast?
Yeah, I did the first Friday of Ramadan, yeah.
How was that? So you've experienced a fast before?
Yeah, with who was it? It was with you, Omar,
Kareem
at
Samir.
the time. Kareem's coming next week. No, this weekend.
This weekend, yeah.
inshallah. And yeah, it was beautiful. I think just like the way it was, as it was so like, you get that calm before the storm, before like the fast breaks. But I was sitting next to Kareem, and I remember like it was time to eat, and he just had one little sip of water and put it back down again. I was like, wow, this guy is like, he's amazing. And I was there just.
But when you fast in Ramadan, you might start like that as well, like starting to eat a lot after iftar, and then eventually your stomach's just gonna like, I don't know if that's scientifically true that your stomach shrinks or what, but I know a lot of people say that. It probably is, but you do really feel like you can't eat a lot.
Yeah, the less you eat, your stomach does downsize.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, so by the time you're like in mid Ramadan, like your papa just like downsized, man.
I've noticed that with me recently because I've not been eating as much as I like used to. I'm not as greedy.
Okay.
So if I have a big plate in front of me and I'll be like struggling to eat it now, it's like, it's weird. So I noticed the difference in my body. So I think I should be okay. I don't think I'm going to be like dying like a lot of people expect me to be, like my family and stuff. I think it's going to be extremely difficult.
Have they been speaking to you about Ramadan? They know it's coming up and stuff?
I've had, who spoke to me? I think it was my cousin. He was just saying how, oh yeah, you're going to find it like extremely difficult, you're not going to be able to do it, etc., etc. I'm like, why not?
But if anyone, mashallah, alhamdulillah, you're quite disciplined. So I think you've got this, man. You got this in the bag, inshallah, man.
Yeah, I've been like disciplined even with my coffee.
Oh yeah, as we're doing this podcast, those of you who are not watching, those of you who are just listening, I'm drinking a coffee. You had a coffee today, didn't you?
I made one. I haven't actually started it yet though.
Yeah. But Nate's been really good in that, because Ramadan's coming up, he's trying to train himself to have less coffees, which is a very, very smart move, and it's something that I have not implemented. So I'm still having about 2 coffees a day. But it's true, man, because he basically said that he had heard that you get headaches, innit, if you just like straight away cut it off.
Caffeine.
Yeah, you have really bad caffeine. And I get that. For the last 2 years, I've had that bad, man. Like, for the first week of Ramadan, I'm struggling because of my caffeine headaches, and I'm not learning my lesson. I'm still going strong with the coffee.
It's just Brandon, really. No, I had a headache yesterday. I felt it a little yesterday because I'm so used to having like maybe 4 or 5 cups.
Yeah, you have a lot of coffee though, because for me, it's not as bad because I do say I love coffee and stuff, but I generally have 2 cups a day.
Yeah, so I just went from that to having none.
Yeah.
I had like 1 the other morning. That was it.
I think, would you know what you should do, bro? You should have 1 cup of coffee in the morning right now, and then not have any coffee throughout the day. Yeah. That should be what I'm doing. But what I end up doing, what I'm currently doing is I'm having 1 coffee a day in the morning because I need my morning coffee. But then I'm not having a coffee. But then the second coffee I have is my coffee for gym, like as a pre-workout. So if I don't go gym, then I'll just have 1 coffee a day.
It's not bad though. I think 1 coffee is not that bad.
Nah, it's good. But apparently there's a study that says like having even like 2 to 5 is like good for you. I think it might be in a biased study.
That explains a lot.
Yeah. But bro, so I released a video on my YouTube channel the other day, and it was my top 5 pre-Ramadan tips. So I was thinking that we could go through them. And I'm going to go through them now with the listeners. Okay, here we are. So, I made a video online the other day, and it was top 5 tips of mine for Ramadan, pre-Ramadan, just to kind of get ready for it. And so my tip number 1 was do eat big. And so that tip was basically based off of experience. So a lot of times with the people around me, obviously I don't celebrate birthdays and I don't give gifts on birthdays, etc. And so my like quote unquote excuse is generally, Eid is when we do things big, so it's for Eid, etc. And then Eid comes around and I've been so involved with Ramadan, or I literally, it's right at the end of the month, etc. And I don't do Eid big. It's just like Eid comes around and it's like, oh, I didn't even prepare for it. And then I don't really, I'm telling everyone like, oh, Eid is our big thing. And I'm not even the one who's implementing that as like a quote unquote, again, practicing person. And we should do Eid big, man. So my tip number 1 was do Eid big. And then my tip number 2 kind of goes into it a bit more detail. And it's my tip number 2 was start buying presents now. So what I've done, so again, because I don't often, well, you should really, as a Muslim, be constantly buying gifts for the people around you, because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said along the lines of buying gifts for one another increases your love for each other. So it's something that we should do anyway. But times like, for example, Mother's Day or Valentine's Day that we don't celebrate, because of those reasons, we should go extra big on Eid. And and even then, like, what happens is I say that I'm going to do that, and then Eid comes around, and it's like I have so many family and friends that I want to be able to do things for, that the expenditure could literally end up even being thousands. Like, I mean, I'm not saying you have to spend thousands, but it could be, because let's say, for example, you might want to do something really big for like your mom or your wife, so that's a couple £100. And if everybody else, £20, £50 gifts, it ends up being a lot of money. And so what ends up happening to me is I like get overwhelmed, and right at the end of Eid I realize I haven't bought anyone presents, and then I just give everyone a bit of money, and then even then I have to give a lot of money out in one day. So this is my plan now, and this is the plan that I recommend to all of you to implement. So what I've done is I've gone to Amazon and I've created a private shopping list. So you can create a shopping list on Amazon, and I've started to add things to the basket of things that I like. So for example, and I can say this here because my mum doesn't listen to the podcast, you guys might think this is a really rubbish present, but I know that she'll really like it. I've added to the basket a rice cooker for my mum, because my mum cooks a lot of rice, and it's like a hassle. And I think I remember someone saying that she could do with a rice cooker. So I want to buy her a nice rice cooker. It's not that expensive. Added it to the basket, and then that's my mum's present sorted. And then I've got my present for Omar sorted as well. So I added that to the basket. And so my intention, I haven't started this yet, although I think I'm going to start today. My intention, inshallah, is just to go through that, and as and when, I get a bit of money, or as and when I can, I'm just going to, throughout the month, buy things. So inshallah, by the end of Ramadan, that list should be empty now, and I'll have bought everyone's presents. Now, personally, I think that is an amazing idea. Alhamdulillah, I think that's a really good idea. What do you reckon, Nate? Did you hear the idea?
No, sorry, I was setting up the...
Create an Amazon wish list, and for all of the presents that you want to buy for everyone, and then just buy the things like kind of throughout the month, rather than trying to buy presents for everyone right at the end.
Yeah, it's always best to prepare. Yeah. If you bulk buy it at the end, you end up putting yourself under stress anyway. Stress,
pressure, financial issues. You might even end up like having this thing where you want to do these things for people, so you end up borrowing money, so you don't want to get into that. So that's my second tip, and I really recommend that. And I'm gonna the best way to kind of recommend something is to implement it yourself. So I'm gonna implement that myself, inshallah. Today I'm gonna start by buying one thing. Could be my mum's rice cooker. I've actually only got 2 things on that list right now, because I find it really hard to think of ideas of things to buy for people. And so I have Omar's. The reason I came up with Omar's idea is because I know that he's into... Even the thing that I have for Omar, I'm not going to say what it is in case he hears, or in case any of you guys tell him, but Omar's not easy to buy for, because if he needs something, he'll buy it for himself, right? However, he is easy to buy for in the sense that he's into tech, as any like young man is really in this day and age. And so anyone who's into tech, you can buy them like a cool tech gadget in it, like something that maybe they don't need, but they're like, oh wow, thanks, like they will use it now that they got it. So that's why that was easy. And I've also got a couple other people's ideas in my head, but the main, I think I'm going to set a priority list. So because obviously I'd love to buy presents for every single person that I know, like my immediate family, then my extended family, and then like my immediate friends, and then like my acquaintances and my work friends. Like I just like to buy friends for everyone. Buy friends for everyone. You get a friend. Everyone gets a friend. Now, I'd like to just buy gifts for everybody, but I think that while that is the goal and the intention, I don't want to crumble. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set priorities. So my immediate family is my main priority, and then my immediate friends, and then like outreach from there. So I want to make sure I get something for my mom, my wife, obviously, my brothers and sisters, my nephews and nieces, and then like that's like my immediate family, my nan, and then like branch out like, you know, my immediate friends, and then like my uncles and aunties. And so inshallah by the end of it I can get gifts for everybody. So yeah, tip number 2, start buying presents now. Okay, so tip number 3 was follow positive people on social media, and kind of an addition to that is an unfollow non-positive people on social media. So if you've got people, if you, let's say for example you have Instagram and there's people who you and I both know you shouldn't be following, or not even accounts that you shouldn't be following, but just accounts that are not positive or don't add anything to your health, your well-being, your dunya, or and especially your iman. If they don't add positivity towards those things, unfollow them. And likewise, follow accounts that do add positive things. So follow some Islamic accounts, you know, follow some business accounts, and because I think one thing that a brother on Instagram, SQ, he said, he mentioned in Ramadan, a lot of people set themselves goals to not use social media for the month, which is can be a good goal. That's not a goal that I'm setting myself, but it can be a good goal, I suppose. There's a lot of fitna on social media, in many forms, even just like the form of time wasting, and so it's a very, very good goal if that is a goal for you. However, I believe that especially in the day and age we live in, it's very hard to avoid social media, especially if you're on if you have a business or your work revolves around social media. So my counterpoint to saying they're going to quit social media is because the other thing worth mentioning, by the way, is that a lot of people might say they're going to quit social media for a month, and then they're okay for the first week, maybe the second week, and then they just get back to it. So instead, my proposition is stay on social media if you don't think you can avoid it, but just follow good accounts and stuff that will benefit you. And there's a lot of benefit you can get from social media, a lot. I can't think of any accounts that I would recommend you to follow, like off the top of my head. But there are some good accounts.
By Nate Rose.
And Nate just mentioned his account by Nate Rose. So yeah, tip number 3. So I'm just going to get some water. Tip number 3 is follow positive people on social media and unfollow non-positive people and accounts. Okay. Tip number 4. Tip number 4 was don't fill up your plans with iftar dinners. Don't fill up your plans with iftar dinners. Now, I said in the video as well that if you see me out and about with my family or friends having an iftar dinner, don't call me a hypocrite, because just think good of me. But ideally, we all know that the best thing we could do for Ramadan is probably either open fast in the masjid. And by the way, you'll be saving so much money, because if you're eating 1-2 meals a day, yeah, imagine you're eating 2 meals a day, iftar and sahur, and you do both in the masjid. You're spending 0 money for a whole month on food. That's mad, innit?
That's a lot of savings. Right?
Think about how much money you can save, bro.
But also reward for opening your fast to the masjid. Exactly. So,
not saying that's the reason you should do it, but I'm saying that is a positive byproduct of opening your fast in the masjid. But yeah, guys, ideally we should be opening our fast in the masjid, or opening our fast at home with our family, and then going to the masjid. The point is, if we do iftar dinners, we don't want to get distracted from ibadah or from like maybe going to the mosque and stuff. But likewise, you know, there are things that we have to fulfill. Sometimes we get invited by family, by friends, we have to fulfill them. So don't take that one like as if I'm saying it's haram to do plans for iftar. Not that I can't even, I'm not even anywhere near the level where I could even say something's halal or haram. But try your best to not make a lot of plans for iftar dinners. Ideally, iftar, masjid, and then busying yourself in worship throughout the night. As we know, the worship of the night is rewarded highly. Tip number 5 then, which was the last tip, was raise money for charity. Now this was a bit of a loaded tip because it kind of like went off into the things that I'm like kind of doing for Ramadan. Which I can go into. I'm going to go into it in this episode because I haven't. So I'm raising money for 3 different projects in Ramadan, but I haven't actually announced all 3. I've announced 2 of them now, but I'm going to actually announce the 3rd one now because why not? Okay. It would be amazing because by the time this episode goes out, you guys who are listening to this podcast are going to be the only people who know about this 3rd project because we're not actually launching it yet. So maybe, inshallah, you guys could start raising, donating money towards it. It'll be good. Right, so my 5th point was raise money for charity. And the reason I said raise money for charity and not donate money to charity is because, yes, we should donate money to charity, especially in the month of Ramadan, which is the month where deeds are multiplied, and we should do as many good deeds as possible. However, the reason I said raise money for charity is because Ramadan is a time where people give so much money in the path of Allah, and so imagine if we could be a means for that. Imagine if I can set up a page and I can say, let's say I'm pledging to raise £5,000, and then people raise money, people donate money to my page. Inshallah, if as long as I'm sincere, I will get the reward for the money that those people donated because I was the means for it. That's benefit number 1. Benefit number 2 is it might encourage people to donate because you'll be telling your friends and family, look, I'm raising money, why don't you donate? So they'll get reward. And benefit number 3 is that if you are a trustworthy person, people give a lot of money in Ramadan, and unfortunately, what could happen is people could give money to causes that might not be. How do I say it? I'll say it like this: if you know a cause that is very beneficial and that is good, and most causes are, but and an organization that is trustworthy, then it's better that the money goes to a trustworthy source than, somewhere you don't know where the money's going, because unfortunately a lot of times we don't know where our money goes when we donate it. And so it's nice to be able to see where your money goes, I think. So if you were to raise money, then where would you raise money to? So these are the 3 places that I'm raising money to, and these are you guys are more than welcome, and I encourage you guys to raise money to these pages as well. So and by the way, as a side note, if you were to go onto my YouTube channel right now, you'd probably just think, oh, like this guy, you got like travel bloggers, and you got like unboxing vloggers, and you got daily vloggers. You'd probably look at my page and categorize me as a charity vlogger because my last few videos have been all charity based. But it's just this month is like the month where a lot of people give, and so I want to take advantage of that and really try and encourage people to give. So the 3 projects I'm working on. Number 1, as you guys know, is the Spot project. The Spot project is very, 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 very close to my heart. We're building a school, a masjid, and a sleeping area in Gambia. A lot of it is done, but there's still a lot of work to be done. And if you watch my Gambia vlog on my YouTube channel, which was one of the most recent videos that I released, you can see it in detail. And the link for that is freshlygrounded.com/spot. freshlygrounded.com/spot. And you can donate money to that. Alhamdulillah, we haven't even started Ramadan. Our goal is to raise £10,000, and we've already raised, you guys have already raised, by the will of Allah, £2,500. Alhamdulillah. So that is my first project that I'm raising money towards in Ramadan. The second project is the one that I literally just released yesterday, which was the Little Hearts Foundation by Muntada Aid. So Little Hearts, what they do is so basically every year up to 1 million children are born with congenital heart defect. That could mean that they're born with hearts that are not fully formed, hearts that have holes in them, various different heart issues, right? And a lot of these heart issues are very, very easy for people, for surgeons to fix. Not to fix, but to medicate and to help that person survive in the West. However, some of these simple surgeries are in countries around the world, in third world countries, etc. Not only do they not have the surgeons, but they don't even have the ability to even scan to see that there's an issue with the heart. So what Little Hearts do is they provide these life-saving heart surgeries to children all around the world, which I think is a beautiful cause. And so if you want to help raise money to that, you can go to supportlittlehearts.com. So that's supportlittlehearts.com. I don't know why I spelled that. And Nate has already started raising money, and we I think everyone in the office has got a page, and we've all started raising money for it. And Nate, if people want to donate to your page, what's the link?
It is everything you just said. Little what is it? Support.
No, the link for your page.
Oh, it's / Nate Rose.
Yeah, so justgiving.com / Nate Rose.
justgiving.com.
So donate to Nate's page, man. And if you want to actually fundraise for this, you can go to supportlittlehearts.com, and on the website supportlittlehearts.com, it has a step-by-step instructions on how to set up your own page. And the good thing about it is that you can literally just set up your own page, and then you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to enter no bank details, anything like that. The money that people donate goes straight to Little Hearts Foundation, so you don't have to like do some messy bank transfer after or anything like that. So yeah, supportlittlehearts.com. That's my second project. Now my third project, which I haven't actually told anyone. Okay, so as you guys will know, as you guys will notice a pattern, my first project is an international project that is an orphanage. My second project is an international project again, and it's for health. So we've got orphanage, we've got health, and then my third project is for education, and it's a local project. So I wanted to do one local project. So this is a project that's very, very dear to my heart, and this is Badr Academy. So Badr Academy, what they do is they teach the Arabic language to adults. Mainly, that's their main focus. They have madrasas, they teach children, etc. But mainly, they teach Arabic language to adults. Now, they also teach Islamic studies and they teach Quran. But why is their primary course Arabic language, and why is it for adults? Well, as we know, the Quran was brought down in the language of Arabic, and the scholars speak the language of Arabic, and the Quran is recited in Arabic. And so in order to really understand our own religion, it's very important that we learn Arabic. And imagine there's times where we all like this, a lot of us people who don't understand Arabic or non-Arabs, we're standing in Taraweeh and we're affected by Taraweeh, but you hear people crying when they're doing the Qunut Dua and when they're doing the reciting the Quran, and we don't get it because we don't understand what's being said. So it still moves us and shakes our heart because it's Quran and it's the word of Allah. But imagine the level that we'd be at if we understood what was being recited. That would be a different level. And then imagine being able to read the books of the scholars straight from the scholars instead of a translated version, etc. So what Badr does, that's why they teach Arabic language. They teach reading, writing and speaking in Arabic. So by the end of their 2-year course, you will be fluent in learning Arabic. Now, so you'll be fluent in speaking, writing and reading Arabic. And now, why do they need money though? That's what you're probably thinking. Now the reason they need money is because they are local school / like university or something, like a local institution in London, but based in West London. And the reason they need money is because if you watch the video that they put out, which isn't actually out yet, but how can I make that video live exclusively to you guys? I know what I can do. What I'll do is I'll create a link. I'll have to remember to do this, so Nate, you might remind me. I'll create a link called freshlygrounded.com /Badr. That's BADR. And I'll put the video there, which will be unlisted. So I'll direct that to the unlisted video, which is not actually out yet, but I want you guys to see it for yourselves. And this is where Ustad Yahya Arabi teaches, who was on podcast a few weeks ago. And they need the reason they need money is because the building needs full refurbishment. It's a state, like the windows are broken, the doors like a mess, like the ceilings are broken, the boards they need like smart boards in there, everything. It just is a full refurbishment, and it's going to require a lot of money to do it. And there's many reasons why they need this, and one of the reasons that I like that Yahya mentioned was the knowledge that is being studied, Quran, Islamic sciences, Arabic. The knowledge that is being studied in these buildings is is knowledge that should be glorified, and knowledge that should be worthy. Is not, this building is not worthy of teaching such beautiful knowledge. And so that's one reason. Second reason is we want to make it as appealing for students as possible and easy for students to learn the language. Thirdly, and so they need specific facilities to do so. And thirdly, as we know, marketing and branding wise, like we want as many people practicing and non-practicing to learn the Arabic language. That's our goal here, right? At Badr. I say our, but I'm speaking on behalf of Badr now. So me as Faisal Chowdhury, if I was to go to Badr and view it or see them online with the current state of the building, I would not be there. However, alhamdulillah, Allah guided me to be involved with them to an extent through my friend Onali, yeah? But generally, as a person, like, let's say, for example, we showed this like Instagram account to like the people here in the office. Oh my, these are like myself. You'd be like, wow, like, I don't, because it doesn't look attractive, because it looks like, wow, I'm going to go there and I have to sit in some like awful. Now, I know this sounds like a very superficial thing to say, but we want to make this building attractive. We want to make the course attractive and everything, so that people practicing and non-practicing go and learn the Arabic language. For a lot of non-practicing people, it could be their way into Islam, or it could be their once a week thing into Islam. So they teach classes every Saturday for men and Sunday for women. And it's 5 hours on Saturday and 5 hours on Sunday, and they also have classes throughout the week. And so all of them, the more information is on the YouTube video, which you can see at freshlygrounded.com/badr. But like I said, we haven't actually launched that. But I say we, but because I've been helping them kind of shoot the video and stuff. Again, I am not Badr. I am just speaking on behalf of them. When you watch that video explains it better. And on that video, the reason I would recommend to watch that video is because in that video, you see Ustad Yahya's journey. So he's in the video, and you see him at 11 years old or 12 years old learning at Badr, and you see him and he's still wearing his shamag, mashallah. Allahumma barik. So go ahead, watch that video, guys. And the donation link will be on that video, so donate to that cause as well. I believe, off the top of my head, the donation link is justgiving.com/crowdfunding/Badr, BADR. So these are the 3 projects I'm raising money for this Ramadan. So I'm really excited for that. And with that being said, that was pretty much everything, wasn't it, for that section, which was all of my Ramadan tips. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed those. I hope that wasn't too boring. I know that generally when we don't have Sam, the whole nature of this podcast is very, very different. But I also know that when I put out a poll before with you guys, it was important that you guys definitely still preferred having an episode out. And also, you guys, it's worth bearing in mind that there will be times where, for example, Sam might be unable to make it for various reasons. Not his fault at all. But for me, the reason it's easy is because where freshly grounded is shot, as you guys can see behind me, because we've actually changed up the studio and the environment. It's actually shot in the Feed Source offices, so you can see the Feed Source logo behind me. It's shot in the Feed Source studio, and Feed Source is the like what's the word? A sub branch. No, but there's a specific word. It's like a big word that. Anyway, it's like an arm of Flavor. So these are the Flavor offices and studios, and so that's where I work full time. And so for me, obviously, it's not an issue getting here. But for Sam's traveling from outside of London every week, and he's also running, Allahumma barik, very successful businesses. So it's not always easy for him to get here. And so what do we do? Yes, a lot of times we can get guests, like we did with Ustad Yahya, like we did with Yusha Evans. But sometimes there's going to be weeks like this, and I don't want to miss weeks. So especially for our fans who are listening, who are hardcore fans of the podcast, and we're able to provide audio content, I still wanted to go ahead with it. And so we did so. Now I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Mr. Nate Rose.
What's that?
I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Let me just have my water and then I'll address it. And here it is. Yes, you are seeing correctly I have 0 hairs in my nose.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I know you were thinking it, and I know the ones that people watching on YouTube were probably thinking it. And so if you're following me on Instagram the other day, I got my nose hairs like with hot wax taken out, and that's for the first time ever. That's my first time I've ever even removed my nose hairs, yeah. And I was actually really excited for Sam to come today because I was going to discuss it with him, because every time I've gone away with Sam, so we went Dubai, we went Gambia, we generally stay together. We have the same hotel room and stuff like that. And so I don't know why I mentioned that. My point in mentioning that was to say that, like,
Does he trim his nose hairs?
no, he doesn't. But it seems to be in the hotel room when we're getting ready that he'll look at me and we'll be talking and he'll say, "Bro, I really just want to trim your nose hairs for you." And so in Dubai, that's all he says is, "I'm going to, before we leave Dubai, I'm going to do that." And in Gambia, he's like, "I need to do that," and he just didn't get around to it. And so I think him just being a barber, and because I think what started happening is, like, I know this sounds disgusting, but like my nose hairs started, like, you could see them, man. Anyway, so my wife was the same. My wife used to look at me, like, "I need to take your nose hairs out." So she bought this like kit where you put this hot wax in the microwave for like 2 minutes, or whatever.
Microwave.
And then you put this like stick in the hot wax, you shove it in your nose, and you let it harden, and then you pull it out really fast. And oh my god, because I'd never done it before, I was thinking it's gonna kill. So I did that, and then so we did it. So I did it one each nostril, then took it out, and it wasn't as painful as I would have thought it would have been. So alhamdulillah, it's fine. Although it was painful, took it out, looked in the mirror, I was like, alhamdulillah, I look sick, I'm happy. My wife was like, "Do you want to do it again? Because there's 2 more sticks." I was like, "No." She was like, "I think you should do it again, just get the excess hair out once and for all." So I was like, "No, I'm not going to do it." Eventually I was convinced. So now this is where we went wrong. This is where I think I should have stopped. Because then we shoved 2 more in my nose, yeah? Shoved one in, shoved the other one in. The wax had like dripped down and gone into my moustache. So I'm thinking, oh my days, when I pull this off, my moustache is going to come out. Now the thing comes with some like wipes. So you can like, it's like oil wipes. So you can like, if you get wax somewhere where you don't want it, you can wipe it off. But it wasn't working. And so the wax was attached to my nostril and my moustache. And I'm thinking, and just like a line of my moustache. So I'm going to have like half a moustache. And so I was bugging out. And so what she ended up eventually being able to do is like just separate the wax from my moustache to my nose. So at least when I pull out my nose hair, this sounds so disgusting, doesn't it? Just when I pull out my nose hair, at least it's not connected to my moustache, so it won't pull out my moustache. So we did that. And the second time was way more painful because I pulled it out much slower. And so I should have just stopped at 2, really, to be honest. But anyway, so now I pulled it out, both nostrils, and alhamdulillah, my nose hairs have gone, but I've now got this fat, dried up wax on my moustache, and I'm like, oh my days, how do we take this off? Now, if I was to just peel it off, my hair would come off with it, so I didn't know what to do. So then, my sister and my wife decide that I need to steam my face, yeah? So my sister's now boiling the kettle, pours the kettle into a bowl. My wife's gone and got a towel. My face is shoved in a bowl of hot water, like a centimetre away from actually touching the water. And I'm steaming my face now. And I had just showered. So now I've got this like boiling hot water on my face, which makes my face sweat, open up my pores. And I just showered, which means I have to wash my face again because it's going to be all sweaty. And the intention was to melt the wax, but it just wasn't really working. But I think it worked enough to like, then like scrub it off. So after a long scrub, alhamdulillah, the wax came off and my moustache is still here.
Moustache. Say that again?
Moustache.
That's better.
Did I say moustache?
Yeah.
Moustache. Have you heard that joke? I moustache your question, but I'll show you it for later.
No, not until now.
Well, there you go.
Let's
It's like a greeting card joke, isn't it?
A green card joke.
A greeting card joke. What did you think? A green card?
Like, wow, is that a fresh joke?
So yeah, that happened, and but I'm all good, I'm all safe. However, then people started saying to me, because I uploaded it onto Instagram, people started saying to me that, but the nose hairs are there for a reason. And I said that to my wife as well, but the nose hairs are there for a reason, aren't they? They're to protect something, innit? Like all that gunge that's going to go in your nose, it like protects it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. That's why you end up blowing it back out.
So now I've got no protection.
It's going to slide straight up there. All that bacteria,
That's extremely dangerous.
all that dirt. It's good.
But it does grow back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Your hair grows. So, but it was
How
peak.
long it takes though.
It was peak though, bro. Like, did you see? Had you ever looked at me and been like, "Raw, man needs to take some"?
Not really, to be honest. I usually pay more attention to the hair on your head. But
Which is lacking.
you're still growing it, though, right?
No, I've been cutting it. I've been getting
On the
haircuts.
top,
A bit. I'm trying.
you gave up.
A bit.
It wasn't about that life.
Alhamdulillah, man. I just know that I'm gonna be bored by the time I'm like 26. I need you guys to make dua for me and make dua for me that I don't go bored, because I don't want to go bored. But alhamdulillah, whatever happens, happens. Let me just get these questions up now. We got some questions from you guys. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Let's get into it. Okay, somebody asked some tips on how to start fundraising, raising awareness, and starting a campaign. Okay, so I'll pretty much spend most of the podcast talking about that, about raising money. But in regards to how to fundraise, I would say for people who have like a few thousand followers on Instagram, it'll be easier because you can use your social media. But for people who aren't big, social media, like don't engage as much on social media. Yeah, I think a good tip would be create the page, and literally go to each member of your family and say, this is what I'm doing, and go to all your friends, network, and speak to them and say, look, I'm raising money for charity. If you got money this month for that you want to give sadaqah, this is my link. Just give it. And if you want to be anonymous, then you can just select to be anonymous. But just tell your family and friends, and tell them to forward it on to their family and friends. And maybe even, I think I know one brother is going to go to he's created a page. I created a page for him. And I think he told me that he's going to go to his local masjid. So be innovative. Think of good ways of doing it, I'd say. But it is going to be harder. But then, inshallah, the harder it is, inshallah, the reward will be good. Okay. Someone asked, what are your immediate and long-term goals that you would like to achieve? My immediate goals that I would like to achieve, and when I say immediate, I'm gonna say 0 to 2 years. I'm gonna call that immediate because time's going very fast anyway. And I'd say long-term is like 2 years plus over the next 10 15 years. So I say my immediate goals off the top of my head, definitely Arabic language, definitely increasing my character. Character is, as we know, what weighs the heaviest on the deeds, on the judgment, and I think my character sucks. So I want to really improve my character. In terms of dunya stuff, I'm not sure, to be honest. Like, I was having this think. I think like today or yesterday, and I was thinking, as Muslims, it's quite hard because we have to try and figure out a way in which we don't become so detached to dunya that we don't care about working or earning money, because we do need to earn money, don't we? But you do often get this thought of like, you know what? I don't really care, because you do go through times where your iman is high and you think, look, I'm living for my akhirah. But you do have to remind yourself that, look, living for akhirah does not mean don't earn any money, or it doesn't mean be poor. In fact, someone recently reminded me that the two things that it is, I might get this wrong, so forgive me if I do and correct me if I do, but it's a reminder that I got from somebody on the phone the other day, and it said that two things that a Muslim should be jealous of, because generally we shouldn't really be jealous, right? But two of the things that we should be jealous of, one is when we see a wealthy person who gives his money for the sake of Allah. Yeah, we should want to do that as well. And then the second is, he said, oh man, I think he said a person with a lot of knowledge. who like uses his knowledge in the path of Allah. And so, but I might be wrong, but I'm almost certain that's what he said. So, what was my point in saying that? Because I've completely forgotten. So what he was saying from that is that what we could derive from that in a way is that, you know, we should earn money and try and be as wealthy as possible, so we can give for the sake of Allah as well. And so, but I think it's hard, man. Like, as a Muslim, I don't know what you've experienced, Nate, being a new Muslim, a very, very new Muslim. Have you experienced times when your iman has been high, where you thought, oh, like, dunya is just like, I'm not even on this. Like, I'm not on like earning P and that.
Yeah, I've thought about that a few times. There's like been times where you just want to stop everything you're doing and just go sit somewhere and just, like, for me is taking Arabic lessons and learn how to read the Quran correctly and just gaining knowledge. I was just being on that type of vibe.
Allah make it easy for you.
And I would just love just to drop everything and just do that. But you know, you can't, just because you need to. It's not all about you, even though it kind of is. But you know, you got like my mom to look after and stuff as well. So
very true.
I can't just stop what I'm doing. Otherwise, other people are affected by that as well. So just gotta do what I can in the time I have.
It's true, and also we should strive to be really successful, because we can motivate other young people and show them, look, you can be very successful and still keep your morals. And so I think it's important, but it's just hard, man. Sometimes you do get those thoughts, and it's hard to get that balance, because sometimes you feel really motivated to want to like be that inspiration and stuff, and then other times you just think, this is not me, man. But I suppose that's getting that balance in. So yeah, I suppose I just struggle with that sometimes. So I would say my iman goals are, like I said, Arabic and character, and then I'd say my long-term goal, and then my like non-iman related as much goals are, I don't know, keep on trying to grow, I suppose. Keep on trying to grow. Grow freshly grounded, grow everything that we're doing. Alhamdulillah. Long-term goals, I would say. Long-term goals. My long-term goals are always changing, man. And I think that's a positive thing. I think it's good that your long-term goals change, because as you grow, things should change.
Times, don't they?
Yeah, man. Because inshallah, if our knowledge increases, then maybe our intentions will change. So,
because you grow as your character grows and your thoughts change, don't they? So your plans are always going, I want to do this, but then you might learn something along the way that makes you want to do something else. So
exactly.
Yeah, I definitely experience that all the time.
I tell you what, recently I've been thinking a lot about in terms of my long-term goals. I've been thinking, because I've been like in the most minorest way been involved in some charity work. May Allah make me sincere. I've had this feeling where I feel like, wow, like imagine being able to do this full time, like to the extent of like trying to figure out a way of helping people. Like, you actually get the most happiness from helping others. What did I just say? That's mad. Like, it's actually like you actually get the most happiness when you give. Like, that makes no logical sense, but it's just true. Like, and this could mean you know your family member is struggling a bit financially, you just give them 20 quid. You know what I mean? Or it could be like, you just, even if someone ain't struggling, like you just build up your mum, be like, yo mum, you know, I'll do the food shopping this week. So do you know what I mean? Like giving, there's no feeling what happens before that. However, there's also a lot of waswas that happens before giving. Like when you're about to give, Shaitan is whispering like, oh, but what about your wealth? What about your money? Like, how are you going to be able to afford this? How are you going to afford that? Like, you need that money. Do you know what I mean? Like, but if you ignore that and you give, and you tell yourself, you keep reminding yourself, no, Allah's promise is true. Allah's promise is true. If you give for the sake of Allah, like, it will not reduce my wealth. If I give for the sake of Allah, it won't reduce my wealth. If you keep telling yourself that, yeah, then subhanAllah, like, there's no happiness more that gives you so much happiness as giving for the sake of Allah. Like, I can't believe how much happiness, and it's a shame that we don't do it enough, and especially me, I don't do it enough, man. And one brother I spoke to who, inshallah, will be listening to this and he'll know who it is. I remember he told me, I think maybe a month or two ago, and I'm actually going to voice note him today because I really miss him, subhanAllah. He said, my wealth, he said something along the lines of basically that he found basically that he had a bit of an issue going on, and the more money he gave out, the more money he was basically getting, like, or able to save. Like, the point is that, like, let's say for example your intention is to save. I'm not saying don't save and give all your money away, but what I'm saying is like giving money for the sake of Allah will not reduce your wealth. Like, that is just a promise of Allah, innit? And Allah, His promise is His promise. SubhanAllah. Sorry if I went off on a bit of a tangent. Let's go into another question. Okay, I haven't read this one yet. Bear in mind, guys, that the answers to these questions are just like my personal opinions as well, so they might not all be fact. Like, because I just seen this question, I think is like asking for advice. Okay, it says, bro, if someone has a fear of social situations because they always feel like everything is focused on them, what should they do? Please, if you answer this, don't mention my name. Jazakallah khair. May Allah reward you. If someone has a fear of social situations, help me break this down, Nate. If someone has a fear of social situations, this is the bit that I don't get, because they always feel like everything is focused on them. What does that mean?
If someone has a fear of social situations, that they feel like they're like under the spotlight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Give me an example.
I could say an example would be from when maybe I first produced this podcast, even though it wasn't about me, but I felt like it completely like was, because, you know, it's my first time doing it. I've been talking to people that I've never spoken to before, and
so
like,
a lot of the focus is on you, that scares you in a social situation.
More like on the spot, you know.
You feel like you're on the spot?
Yeah. Like, you're not really that comfortable in like being under that sort of pressure, you know.
Okay.
But I also feel that comes with just today's age, where people are just used to, you know, more being on their phones chatting to people than the actual person.
SubhanAllah, it's true.
You can think about what to say, and then you take as long as you want. But when it's on the spot, you just gotta like.
You know what? I actually have something that I could say to that. Give me a sec.
I think we're both a bit
Alhamdulillah,
bunged up today.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Okay, so I remember when I was in school, we had like a day where people came in to, like, it was kind of like a life coaching session for like the whole year group. And the thing that I took away from it the most is that you have to become comfortable being uncomfortable. It's just true. Yeah. Because life isn't all sunshine and roses, and there's so often you're going to be uncomfortable. But if you can adapt, which I'm not saying I can, but I'm saying if you can adapt, subhanallah, like, look at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like, man, like, look at how soft, like, alright, let me tell you two things that, like, are complete opposite, yeah? Oh, man, can I get tissue? What on me?
Should get one out of my bag, but
What is it for?
it's in the other room.
I think I might have one in the bottom of my bag, actually. Sorry, guys, but to wipe with my nose. This is the nature of podcasting. I think one brother who is listening to this, Hamza, Jazakallah khair. Hamza recommended to me, he goes, bro, like the times where you're like fixing up the microphone equipment, or like asking about the cameras, or like requesting tissue and stuff, try and like cut that stuff out. And I think that's good advice. But I also think that the nature of podcast is that it's just like you start recording, it's rolling, you end recording, like it's just natural. That's the thing. I know not all podcasts are like that, because I know like how I built this and stuff is edited, but the thing I love about a lot of podcasts is just that aspect of it just being real, raw, unedited conversation. Okay, so anyway, I was talking about being comfortable, being uncomfortable, and I was given an example of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And again, this is both of these examples I'm about to give are examples that I have heard recently from other people. Yeah. So one was a hadith where he was talking about how soft he was with his wife Aisha radiallahu anha when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was coming back home, and I believe it was Aisha radiallahu anha who had kind of like locked the door because she was like a bit upset, not upset, but you know, like I think maybe even playfully upset, or a bit upset because I think what had happened, this is like I said relayed from the this was actually spoken about at the Light Upon Light conference by, I believe, Mansour Al-Sanami, I can't remember. I think it was spoken by him. Yeah, it was, or the other brother, the other sheikh who is with me. Anyway, and what they were saying, they were noting this hadith, saying that I think she had potentially thought that he was like, you know, maybe at another wife's house, and then he came home, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was locked. And what he said is, he said, imagine if that was us. Yeah, we come home and our wife has locked us out. We'd be like, yo, this is my house. How are you gonna lock me out of my house? Like when I open the door, you're gonna know what time it is. Like obviously he didn't say that, but he said like, I know what you brothers would be like. And he said, you know, how did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam react? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, started, like, he used to call Aisha radiallahu anha like a cute name, like he used to call her Aish, like shortening her name like as a lovey thing, innit? Like, you know, you give people nicknames when you love them, innit? So he started going like, Ya Aish, and he started like sweet talking her to the point where she was no longer upset, she felt happy, and she felt like complimented, and she unlocked the door herself and let him in, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How beautiful is that? That's how soft he was. But there's other times, subhanAllah, where he had to go to battle, or like, for example, this just to show his physical strength, this was a hadith that I heard the other day in a class that I wasn't attending of the class, but I had heard the class on YouTube, and it said, a man came up to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, I'm going to wrestle you, and if you beat me, I'll take my shahada, basically. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, all right, basically, cool. He wrestled him, and he beat him. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam beat the guy, and then the guy was like, all right, let's go again, and he beat him again. And I'm not sure how many times they wrestled, but eventually the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam won every time, and eventually the guy said, this man is too strong, and then he took his shahada. My point is that he was soft, so he adapted, innit? He adapted. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So in life we need to be able to adapt, and obviously the examples of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Sahaba are of the, like, some of the best examples that we can give. So that's why I related it to that, because you can relate everything to Deen, really. You can really, and so it's good to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and then every time you're in an uncomfortable situation, you learn something, and then next time you're in that situation, you'll be comfortable. Example, when I started this contract that I've been in for the last few weeks, I was uncomfortable going into this office that I don't know anyone in that office really, and I'm working at that office now 1 or 2 days a week. I found that uncomfortable, but now I can roll in that office, make myself a coffee because I had to become used to it, because it's going to happen anyway. So you have to kind of tell yourself, you know what, I've just got to man up and become comfortable with this. Because you're always going to be in situations in life where you're going to be uncomfortable. Always. Sah? Sah. Innit. So, that's advice. Like I said, it's just my opinion. It could be wrong advice. But from experiences that I've had and from things that I've heard, I'd say we have to learn to become uncomfortable. We have to become comfortable being uncomfortable. And also, you can look at as many videos or watch as many videos on self-help and read as many books and stuff, but there's no experience like actually doing something and being practical.
Experience, isn't it?
You gotta live it, man. You gotta live it. Otherwise, you know, what's on the other side of uncomfort? It's success. It could be failure, but failure is good because you can learn. It's like growth, but you got to get over that hill, innit?
That's the hardest part, though, isn't it? Facing that fear. That's the
Yeah,
hardest
man,
part. Once you go past it, though, it's a breeze.
SubhanAllah. So that's the best. That's the advice I can give. Next question says, what is your ultimate goal in this life and the next? Well, that's an easy question because the ultimate goal is obviously Jannah. I think everyone would agree. But I actually heard something again from a brother which hit me hard when I had heard it, and it was, he said that when I make dua for Jannah, you got to bear in mind that, you know, Allah can give us. Allah has a capability of doing anything, yeah, and He can give us, if He accepts one of our du'as, like, it's accepted, innit? So why would you not ask Allah for what you ultimately want, yeah? And so he said that when he, as far as I remember, he said when he asked for Jannah, yeah, listen to how inspiring this is, and then this will make us feel ashamed for how we make our du'as, yeah? Bear in mind, you're asking Allah, the one who's capable of anything. He asks Allah, yeah, grant me Jannah in the highest level of Jannah for those, and grant me the ability to go into Jannah with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions. Something along the lines of that. I might be wrong in like the way I worded it, but like to that extent. Raw. He said, because I can't think of anything better than that. Like, he's not even saying, Ya Allah, give me Jannah. He's saying, give me the highest ranks of Jannah and let me go into Jannah with the Sahaba. Like, because at the end of the day, bro, Allah, if He accepts that dua, which He can because He's Allah, He's accepted it. Like, you're asking the one who can accept it. You're not asking like anyone, right? You're asking the one who can accept the dua, innit? Mad, innit? Yeah. Think about that. You think, wow, like, why don't I take my time with my du'as? Like, why don't I sit there and say, oh Allah, like, please give me this, please give me that. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what else that reminded me of, bro? It reminded me of, yeah, the importance of us learning the names of Allah, the 99 that He has revealed to us, because I had heard it that when we make dua, it's good to call Allah like from His names, So for example, let's say I'm making dua for for example, forgiveness. Then like call Him upon His names and attributes that are like the ones that are connected to forgiveness. So for example, instead of saying, oh Allah, forgive me, like saying, oh Allah, Ar-Rahman, Al-Afu, I think it is the one who pardons, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And all of these names that relate to forgiveness, Ar-Rahim, you know what I mean? Then you say, forgive me. Then you're saying like, oh, you are the most merciful, have mercy on me. Do you know? Someone advised me that, and so we should try and learn all 99 names, man. It's sad that like, you know, we can sit here on a pedestal and like we can't. Do you know what I mean? But it's sad, man. Like, subhanAllah, we're so I don't know, man, hypocritical or what, but like imagine you want rizq, yeah, like wealth, or even like you want provision in something else, yeah, and instead of saying, oh Allah, you can say, oh Allah, Ar-Razaq, please give me rizq. Like, it's about calling upon the names of Allah, like, subhanAllah, man. So yeah, someone told me that as well, man, so we should learn them. Yeah.
There's never enough time. You can always have time, find the time to learn this stuff. So
yeah, man, subhanAllah, like, it's
that's
very
true.
true.
About making time, isn't it?
Do you know what it is, bro? We've got to figure out. We need to figure out ways in our daily lives how we can implement the deen in it. Like, sorry, not implement deen, implement learning. Like, bro, we shouldn't go. And I'm again speaking as a hypocrite, but I'm not saying that this is what I do. I'm saying like, if we can figure out a way in which every day we are somehow learning new aspects of our religion, because there's so much to learn. But imagine, bro, sometimes we can go Monday to Friday, we haven't even learned anything new about our religion. The whole week has been working. But imagine like every day, just on that way to work, on that way back, like you got a lecture on in the background, you got class on in the background, or you go to a class. Like, it's because there's so much learning, we have to progress in it. Why are we progressing in work, but we're not progressing in deen? And Allah is the one who provides.
Yeah, I just had an idea. See how we have all our screensavers on in there? Why can't we have that as like, instead of a panda, why don't we have it as the names of Allah pop up, like, you know, on the screen?
SubhanAllah, yeah. Then we can like learn them, yeah.
And having them there, and you just subconsciously pick it up.
SubhanAllah, that's true. We need to learn. We need to figure out ways of implementing this, man. Like, SubhanAllah, man.
I suppose we'll figure out something, inshallah.
Bro, like, bro, this episode has felt so good because I feel like just having a chat with you is just like, I'm just like reflecting on things. Like, you don't, because bro, how often do you get time to just sit and discuss and reflect? Like, our life is so busy, especially last couple of weeks. My life's, like, as I've been saying, been mad busy. So to be able to reflect and just think, wow, like, am I even doing enough? And Abu Bakr Islam told me something in Gambia, yeah. I think this was actually on the podcast episode with him. And what he said is, Sam asked him, why do you do this charity? What like motivates you? And he said, if I pray 5 times a day, I give my zakat, I fast in the month of Ramadan, etc., 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 go to Hajj, etc. All of these things that I do are the things that make me Muslim. That's what he said. He goes, these are the things that make me Muslim. So he said, imagine, yeah, like if these are just the things that make me Muslim, then I have to go to Allah with something extra. Like, that's just what makes me Muslim. What have I got after that? Like, I need to do something extra to, like, inshallah, help me in it. And I was like, wow, that's true, you know, because fam, sometimes we pray 5 times a day, and sometimes we sleep through Fajr and all this kind of stuff, and like we're not even doing the bare minimum. He said that that's the bare minimum to be a Muslim. Then it's like, okay, so subhanAllah, man, it's true. Like, we gotta figure it out, man. Like,
yeah, reflecting is probably one of the most important things to do. Yeah. Even I remember when I was reading a book, I think after each chapter it had pause to reflect, and it'll go through a certain bit of it.
Oh, really?
Just rolling on to the next chapter, you know what I mean? And it just gives you that time to.
What
like,
book was that?
I think that was Don't Be Sad, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's the first one you read, isn't it?
Yeah, so after each little chapter, it said pause to reflect, and then you go through a little bit and just give you time to breathe and go on to the next one instead of just, you know, overloading yourself.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah. Learn a lot.
Yeah, man. A few more days of Ramadan will be here, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And then, that's it, man. Allahumma baligh Ramadan. So, what we'll do is, we didn't do any current events, but I think that it's hard to do without Sam. So, I know this has been a bit of a fluid episode in the sense that it's not had structure to it, but I think it's been very fun. And so,
a quick catch up.
Yeah, nice quick catch up, and a lot of reflection and pre-Ramadan talk. And inshallah, we'll be back next week during the month of Ramadan. So it'll be like the 2nd or 3rd fast, I think. And inshallah, Sam will be here. If not, we'll still put out an episode, and we'll take it from there. Guys, this has been episode 56, I believe. Jazakallah khair for listening. Jazakallah khair for watching. Jazakallah khair for just reflecting with us. It's been a lovely episode of reflection. Let me know your feedback, man, because these episodes without Sam are not difficult, but they're different. They're definitely a different type. And I'd love to get your guys' advice. Look, Faisal, it was good. I liked it. It was a nice change. Or Faisal, I just think it doesn't work. Like, maybe you need to be a bit more upbeat. Maybe you need to have more structure. Or yeah, we like the reflection. Let me know, guys, because I base it off your guys' feedback. And with that being said, guys, look after yourselves. Assalamu alaikum. Peace out.